Good morning and welcome. My name is Denise Cowell. I'm a Creative Memories Advisor in Ormond Beach, Florida, and thanks for joining me. We are on the second week of our challenge accepted, and we are going to be working on a yellow card, card number 14. Let me just go to my desk. Got other things to show you. So this one here is yellow, which is storytelling. So this is choose a season and create a layout that reflects its colors, textures, and themes. And you'll see that I posted two project recipes, two of my favorite ones. One is Electric Summer, which I'm going to show you a couple layouts I've done. The other one that I did post was Flurry of Fun, and this is the one we're going to be doing here today. But what I wanted to do first of all is I wanted to show you the video. Since it's only 56 seconds, there's no PDF other than the project recipes that I put up there. So what I wanted to do was to show you the video that Creative Memories did, and then we'll go on to doing the project recipe. Okay, and hope you'll be able to hear this.
Hi, this is Brittany from Creative Memories Home Office, and I am here to show you the layout that I made for winter. So this is an older collection called Frost, and I loved all the blues and the whites. I love the snowflakes and the birch, and I didn't have photos that I thought would work well with the color frame, so I decided to print my photos in black and white so that they could complement the papers and not take too much away from them. And I loved the embellishments, which I popped up on foam squares. And I also took a mat and cropped it and then made this nice little cluster over there. So I love to make layouts based on seasons, and this is just one of many. So thank you for watching.
So hopefully you will be able to hear that properly. I'm going to go back and listen to it. But in the meantime, let's take a look at my desktop and talk about what we're going to do today. Now I did post two project recipes. Electric Summer, which I really like this one. These colors, this is from June of 2020. And I really like these colors. It went with what the granddaughters were wearing. You can see that I changed the direction of the layout. And then I also used this one for a sports page because this uses a knockout punch, right? And I thought it went really well with this page. So let's take a look at the one that we are going to be doing today. So we're going to do Flurry of Fun, and the reason I wanted to do this one is so that we could use the new custom cutting system border cutters. I mean, if you don't have that yet, you can use the decorative trimmer, but I figured that would be good. We're also going to use a knockout punch. Now I have completed this one. This one is back from November 2024. I had completed this one already. And so since I had some winter pictures, I figured we would go and do this one again. So what we need, I'm going to show you some shortcuts. So again, you do need your 12-inch trimmer. You're going to need your decorative trimmer or the new custom cutting system border cutters with your blades. We are going to need, I have some pictures. I'm waiting for some more to get printed, but I'm going to use these ones. And you need 2 sheets for the background. So what I am going to use for my background is that's going to be my left side, and my right side, see what I have here, is just going to be white, and we may end up doing some paper saving. I did do paper saving when I created this last time because you'll notice that this is 6 inches in the middle, so you only need a 4-inch and basically a 3-inch piece. And I actually just had created it on an insert sheet last time so that I could save some paper. Okay, and then what we're going to need to cut is our designer paper. So that's going to be what's at the top here, right? And we're going to use a blade on that, and then a piece of cardstock. So because my pictures have a little bit of pink in them, I do have the navy cardstock, but I also brought in some old pink. Can't remember the color of this. This is not one of the current colors. And if I'm doing some paper saving, I do have some other ones. This is going to be my paper one, which is going to be at the top, right, which has a nice background because you're going to use it for both. And then if we're doing paper saving, I have some other paper here to use that we'll see what I want to do with that. So again, 2 pieces for your base, a piece of designer paper and a piece of cardstock. And I'll move my pictures out of the way. So the very first thing that we're going to do, and I brought some mats also, and of course some stickers. We are going to cut, it says punch and cut 3A and 3B. Now I did some, because this page is very close, right? It's 3 inch, 3 inch, 4 and 2. There is no leftovers. So what I wanted to do is make sure that I could punch, cut it at 3 inches and then do the swell. Because I was worried that if I did swelled it and then cut it, we wouldn't have enough room for everything. And it does work, so I'll show you how to do that. So first of all, see if you have a direction to your paper. And I actually think, and I do have a direction. So we're going to be using the reverse over here, so that's great. So I'm going to cut my paper this way. This way when A and B are going to go across the top. So let me take a think on that. Okay, so I've decided that I want my 4-inch piece to be this way, the sweater piece. So this is going to be, we're going to have this on the right hand side. So we're going to cut this way. And if I cut it my 3 inches, we're going to line up. So the very first thing we're going to do is punch our border. And I am using the mittens punch. And you need a knockout style punch here. And it's almost like I want to do it this way. So it's like I want to do my 4-inch piece first. And I might actually do this backwards. I'm going to cut my 2-inch piece. And I'm going to cut D first. I'm going to work the other way. I'm going to do 2 inches. I'm going to do my 4-inch piece. And actually, I'm just going to cut this all in half at 3 inches. So I have everything cut. That will make sure that when I'm going across the top of my page, where do I want my mittens to be? And I think I'm going to want the gold up, and I'm glad I cut it out. So now I know where I want my mittens to be. I want them, because they're going to be at the top of the page. So I'm going to want them up here on the gold part. And this will fit in. So yeah, that's perfect. Glad that I did that first, so I can actually match up since I have a pattern. So we're going to punch our mittens. And depending on what color you have on the back, you want to keep these. And actually, oh yeah, look, those are little mittens. Perfect. Okay, so that will be here. I'm going to cut both of them first and then come back and do my swell. So let's do this. Want the gold at the top. And we will punch out the mittens. And these are perfect, like the reverse of these to use for little mittens. I don't know if you can see, it's gonna, but it's the little sweater pattern. And because of my light, you're not gonna be able to see it. I'll show after. So we're gonna keep all of those. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is our swell. So I'm gonna show you how to do that using the new border. So because we want it to be as big as we can, what I'm going to do, and you do whichever way works best for you. I want to cut it on the side. So what I did is I lined up these end pieces, and my light, let me see if I can turn that off, and we would have enough light to see. Hang on, so it doesn't reflect. I am lining up the feet here at the 0 mark. Okay, and I'm going to use the red blade. So we're going to line this up at the 0 on the top and the bottom. Okay, actually I should have put this under here too first. So let's do that. If you want to put a little bit of repo on the back to keep it in, you can do that. But then we're going to line this up, and we're going to use the red blade. And it's 1/8 of an inch that you're going to end up cutting off. And we're going to do this on both sides. So we'll use our red blade. And we're going to be really close to the end. We're going to use as much paper as we can. Okay, perfect. And now we're going to do that to the other side. Just have to figure out where I put it. And we're going to line it up again. And then line up our cutter, our custom cutting system border at the zeros. And that's that little feet, top and bottom that I'm lining up with the red blade, which will cut the closest. And just make sure you hang on. It has a little bit of a play in there, like it moves around a little bit. So just make sure you're holding it tight. Okay, so let's see how that works with what we have right now. So we said this one was over on the left. We are done with the custom cutting border. Now we're going to have something underneath there. It's not going to quite be that like that yet. Okay, and then we have my sweater paper that's going to go underneath in the project recipe. So the rest of what we have this bottom piece, because if you were using a pattern paper, this would have been the pattern paper that I was going to use possibly on this side. But this is why I'm going to see if maybe I am just going to do some paper piecing and build it on some white cardstock. So let's go to the cardstock. So we need our navy cardstock. And again, I might accent some pink also, but let's just start with the navy for paper 2. And we are going to cut 2 that are 1.5 inches. And then the rest, well, one is a journaling box and the rest are mats. So depending what you want to do for your mats, but I will cut it according to this right now. So this is our 1.5 inches. Then we have 2 mats that are 4.5 by 4.5, which is great because those hold 4 by 4 pictures. So 4.5 is G. We have 4.5 by 4.5 for twice, G and H. And then this piece we should have left should be 4.5. We're going to rotate that and have a 4.5 by 6 inch photo mat. And this last piece, which is 6 inches, we're going to cut this at 2.5, which will be for a journaling box. And we need to go back, to the first piece. And because this might not be good for journaling, we're going to cut a 2 inch. A 2 by 5.5 inch for the journaling box. Let me just see, because this paper is just a little tiny bigger than 2 by 5.5. And this will be for part of our journaling box. Okay, let's just get these. This is my 2.5. Okay, and these are extra. So let's get the rest of this laid out and see some changes that I may want to make. So if we look here, pieces E and F, these pieces go underneath up here. So it gives us some color coming through. And now this side is already blue. My background is already blue, but I'll put the navy up there just so that it's matching across the pages. And then the journaling box goes down here. And then what I have is my photos. So my photo mats are going to go on this side. What color's on the back of this? Oh, no, I don't like that one. And then I have my other 2 mats here. And let's just get my photos. So I have a 4 by 4 for there, 4 by 4 for here. I have this one here photo is 5.5 by 4. And then I have 3 that are 4 by 6 that are going to go here, and they're just going to go underneath that swell. And because I'm waiting for one more picture, what I'm going to do is just use a mat for now. So let me get my mats. Oh, right. I thought I might use, let's see about this one. Might be too light. Even this one right now might be fine in here. So I have my pictures and I have my journaling. So this is where you see that I could be doing some paper saving. That instead of using this whole sheet of paper, I'm using frost, and I'm almost out of frost. That I could cut a piece down here. As you can see, it's 3.5, and then I'm going up to 9.5 with my photos, and then you have this piece at the top. So that's what I did. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit off there. That's what I did for the other one that I showed you, where well, this one I actually just built it on a white cardstock. So you could either build it on some kind of white cardstock, build it on a insert sheet, or you could piece it together. So the only thing that we're missing on here is, let's line it up because I'll put it together off camera, is they have a sticker that goes across, and I have this sticker on here. So I was looking at the stickers that came with frost and what I have left, since, like I said, it's almost empty. So I do have these stickers that are left, which kind of like, they look like they have like little hearts. So, and I pulled them off of here multiple times. So I'm thinking I might use those. Let's see how. Yeah, it looks like that should go good with there. And then I have some titles. You can see they have a title here. There are some here, Winter Fun. What I did on this one is I actually used part of a mat here. Right, so I have a title up here, part of a mat, and you can see how I added some of the red, I added some red mittens in here, and that's what I was thinking of doing on this one with the pink is, and you don't even need to use the holder. I just really want some mittens punched out, and you can just punch it like a standalone punch, since I'm not worried about the border. And then I can come and I can piece some mittens in here. Let's see. Here, this is what's going to be. Take a little bit of time. You could even put some of these swirls in if you wanted to. So a different color if I wanted to accent, keep some of the blue. The other thing I was thinking of doing, so this mat is 4.5 by 6. Let me cut this a 4.5 by 6. That I could mat this one with pink instead of the blue, which you can't see very much anyways. Then I'm gonna have to bring some pink over here, and maybe I do my journaling box, and that piece was 2.5 by 6. And then I have some pink on both sides of here. And I might just put some journaling paper there, or I could find, let me see. I always have such a mess. Don't know how I lose things so quickly. Only have a small little work area. Now that you can see more of my office, my scrap area. But I could use part of a journal box. Okay, so yeah, I went and got some more of the mats. So I mean, I could cut out this winter and put winter down here. I mean, I like these 3 hearts also, so it's something that I could cut and put a heading down there. Is there anything else warm and cozy? Well, they don't look warm and cozy, do they? They do look like they, or that love this time of year, but I think that's too different color blue. But you can see where I'm going with this. I probably will use a different mat in there until I find, get some more pictures. And we'll just throw this one in there for now. And that is this layout. So I'm going to go and add my title. I'm going to add some more pink color in here. I think I do like with the pink. I will get this finished and I will post this with my Scrapbook with Denise Facebook page. I'd like to see which one you create or what. Doesn't have to be either of the project recipes I posted. You can post whatever you want to do that has to do with a season. So any kind of season, and I'd love to see your layout. So please post it there. Also like and subscribe, and thanks for joining me again, and hope to see you again next week. Bye for now. Happy scrapping.